about that upper line? You got a Chevy, a Ford, and a Toyota with Dale Earnhardt Jr., Carl Edwards, and Michael Waltrip.
You know, sometimes these teammates can be really unlikely when you talk about drafting teammates.
Yeah.
You know, you think about manufacturers line up with each other, but sometimes as the race develops, you find cars that your car really works with.
And that's really what you need to spend the first part of the race trying to decide is who does your car work best with and who's going to work with you as a driver best.
One of the big questions early on in 2009 was when would Dale Earnhardt Jr. get his mojo back? And he has to get back to victory lane in a Cup car or a Nationwide car. It could happen this weekend here where he has been so successful at Talladega. And what about the impressive start of the rookie driver in that number 11, Jamie?
Doc, it's his first time here. Scott Lagasse Jr., he has the yellow stripes on the bumper. So what did he do? Thursday after practice, went and had a talk with Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 5 car. Asked him, hey man, is there anything I can do to be better? Jr. said, hey, hit me harder next time. Let's lock up and go to the front right now. You can tell Lagasse's looking for that 5. He has the confidence.
Got to wonder what he's thinking about. This is not only the first time he has led at Talladega, this is the first time he has ever led in a NASCAR Nationwide Series race.
Let's give a call, too, to the Toyotas because they run just a slightly smaller restrictor plate than the other cars do, and they're doing a great job. This car looks strong out there.
Yeah, and that's why I think Carl Edwards looks pretty good on the high side there because he has Michael Waltrip pushing him to the lead. Look, I believe Carl will be in the lead by the time they get back here. But those Toyotas really are strong.
You heard Alan Bestwick talking about a NASCAR countdown. Carl Edwards has never won a restrictor plate race in NASCAR Sprint Cup or Nationwide competition. He had a great run at Daytona to begin the year, finishing second. But boy, what a big push this would be for him to be able to get to victory lane at Talladega.
Yeah, and because he hasn't doesn't mean he can't drive. Wow, here we go. 3 and 4 wide through the tri-oval. That's not an easy thing to do, even with the repaving job. It's still a very difficult place to go through.
Here comes Junior with some momentum on the outside now, and some help.
We're talking real outside now.
Yeah,
a while ago it was 2 by 2. Now it's 3 wide.
That is Jason Keller in the 27 car behind Junior. Keller is a former winner here as well.
How about Stephen Wallace up there in that outside lane, 3 cars back?
Yeah,
started way back. He's gained 20 spots.
More on Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dave.
I talked with our in-race crew chief, Brian Campy, about Dale Earnhardt's run this weekend. He said, you know what, we started in practice defensive driving. He said, but once we made a gear change and a suspension change, the car had better closure. Junior had less wheel input to scrub speed off the car. And he said, now Junior's on offense. And Junior on offense at Talladega, pretty cool.
He can be dangerous on offense. I'll tell you, that's a restrictor plate expert in that 5 car.
He just has such a really good knack and feel for where the draft is, how to get that air to best work with his race car, and how to get the other drivers to work with him.
Another one is Michael Waltrip right there in the middle.
Yes.
This 99 car. He is a great restrictor plate race car driver.
Michael getting a little help from behind by Brendan Gaughan, another one of the rookie drivers. And both the Rusty Wallace cars running well. There is Brendan Gaughan, who is 7th overall in the points. Has got a 4th place finish here in the Sprint Cup car back in 2004.
Trying to figure out how he's going to hook up with his teammate Stephen Wallace, but it's kind of hard at this point in the race.
Yeah, and sometimes you won't worry about that. I always told my teammates, hey, if we can do this, that'd be great, but don't make an extra effort or don't put yourself in a bad position. As we see him 4 wide again coming out of the tri-oval, but don't put yourself in a bad position to try to make something like that happen.
That move by Brendan Gaughan, he got shuffled out of the draft. Now he will lose 4 or 5 spots. Actually, it was his teammate Stephen Wallace that went up around him to try to stay with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
This is pretty smart move. Pretty smart move to stay with Junior.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't blame him there.
Just like a year ago, Dave, we saw the 18 car moving steadily toward the back.
And steadily out of harm's way. I'm not sure what, I don't remember what Kyle said in our pre-race show, but he is staying back there right now on purpose. His spotter telling him if it's going to happen, it's going to happen up there, pointing where there are things on the track that are about to happen. Kyle trying to stay out of the wreck right now, saving his car for the end.
Kyle Busch is our points leader, had a 47-point margin over Carl Edwards coming in. And folks, a year ago, he stuck his hand out the window and waved and waved and went all the way to the back of the pack to try to avoid the big one. And guess what? He got caught up in the big one. Brad.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Doc. I talked to Kyle before the race about that incident last year. He said he would take his race car and keep it up front if it was capable. He said it's very hard to do, But if it will not stay up front, he's going to do exactly what he's doing right now. So he's figured out he doesn't have the car to lead the pack. He's going to ride around and wait on the attrition to happen.
Some of the best in the business have done that over the years and gone to victory lane, including our own Dale Jarrett, his last victory here back in 2005. The draft right now, it is Carl Edwards and then the rookie legacy, the Toyota of Vickers, as we got 27 cars still in the league draft. In the early laps of the Aaron's 312 at Talladega, Carl Edwards is our leader. And folks, in just 14 laps, we have had 5 lead changes among 4 different drivers. And we're about to have another one as the 5 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. takes the high line and will go up to the top of the racetrack to try to get by Carl Edwards. Earnhardt Jr. trying to get some drafting help from the 16 car of Matt Kenseth. Although Kenseth may be having some issues. Let's show you what we were able to see just a moment ago in his car.
Got it down to 240, Eddie holds back here, but you got to get a lot of tape off. I can't even draft. If I push the car for 200 feet, it's 280.
A lot of fluid coming out of that 16 car for Kenseth. Let's go down to our ESPN Craftsman Tech Garage for their explanation, and Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Doc. What the situation is, the teams get greedy because a piece of tape on the grill, that's the best speed they can get all week long. What the teams are doing, they're actually pressurizing the system with nitrogen. That makes the boiling point come up on the water. But once it gets so hot, it actually pushes the fluid out right over this area right here where the driver can see that the thing's running hot. But the only thing they're going to do to correct the problem, as soon as they get a pit stop, they got to have to come over here and take some tape off the grill, and that's going to increase the airflow. It's going to bring the water temperature down. Doc?
Thanks, Tim. They're going to have to be able to get on the pit road and get that done. In the meantime, Mr. Kenseth has a handful. He's up top in the upper line. Carl Edwards trying to hold on. But how about the rookie Justin Allgaier from 28th position now all the way up to the lead?
Here he comes. He's got help from Michael Waltrip. Bump drafting down the backstretch. Look how much drafting help he's getting.
Oh, all over him. There's nobody better to have on your bumper. Michael Waltrip will do a great job. He won't get on you in the corner, but he's going to give you all the help you need to get to the front. These rookies are having a great day here so far.
Allgaier won an ARCA race at this racetrack a year ago with a daring last lap pass of Joey Logano. He has come from the back of the pack, and now he gets passed by Michael Waltrip, Carl Edwards, and Brian Vickers.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Then Michael will pass you, too, after he helped you get up there. So,
and here comes Carl. Right back at you, Michael.
Michael Waltrip and Carl Edwards had a little contact last week. It didn't go real well for either one of them, but let's check in on Michael Waltrip. Dave.
Michael's had a lot of contact here this weekend, but it's been of the good kind. The front and the rear of that car damaged from practice with bump drafting as he gets passed on the inside now. Crew Chief Jerry Baxter telling me we had to replace crush panels, body parts, and everything to get this car back into shape. But we like making those kinds of repairs, Shannon.
Yeah, spotter and crew chief Chad Walter are patiently talking Justin Allgaier through the laps of this racetrack. As you said, Doc, he won an ARCA race here last year. He told me the one thing he learned from that race is patience. He said anything can happen at this racetrack. I have to be patient. I have to wait till the end of the race, and I cannot let myself get down if I get shuffled to the back of the track.
Lots of patience. In fact, 2 of our top 5 drivers right now are rookies. That is Allgaier in the 12 car back in 4th spot. Behind him, Michael Annett, the former professional hockey player, showing really well early on back in 5th spot.
Yeah, we see these guys making a lot of moves and things that maybe they couldn't have done here on the old racetrack. But with this pavement and as much grip as it has, these guys, if something happens, it's really a mistake now on someone's part. So they just have to be patient, and it's nice that these young guys are figuring that out early on.
DJ, you talk about how smooth this racetrack is. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the easiest, how does this track rate in terms of difficulty to drive?
Well, as far as driving it, if you're out there on a qualifying lap, we could take a lot of people that are watching this race today, and if you don't mind going 180 miles an hour, you can hold it wide open and drive it. It's that easy. The car almost drives itself. But you put them in the middle of that pack, and there's only a few people that can do it, as we see here today. It becomes much more difficult. But as far as the racetrack itself, it's great. They did a tremendous job of getting it smooth. I can't believe they could take something this big and make it this smooth.
One thing we're seeing right here is that the bottom of the racetrack is the place to be right now. We've seen a lot of runs and some momentum from the outside, but it just kind of runs out when they get to the front. I saw Junior just now move to the bottom, and now he's going to try to work down there a little.